Hey, welcome to LuckGrib. So, in this first video, we want to cover some pretty basic stuff, just getting started with LuckGrib. So, you may have heard from friends or colleagues that there's this app called LuckGrib, which does some amazing stuff with the weather, and you're curious about it, so you've downloaded the app. It's a free download. You pay later if you choose to. I hope you do. So, when you first launch the app, you have a tutorial which is available to you. I do encourage you to go through the tutorial. But for this video, I'll act as the tutorial myself, and we'll cancel this one and go on and show you some stuff. But yeah, when you first run the app, please do watch that tutorial. I spent a lot of time on it. So anyway, let's download some weather data. You've heard that LuckGrib is a weather app, which lets you download weather data, and you want to see that. So yeah, here we go. So yeah, weather data comes in a form of files called a grib file, and you want to download grib files from the LuckGrib server cluster. So how do you do that? The first step is to choose the region, since the weather can be anywhere in the world, and you can download global weather data from LuckGrib. You need to choose what part of the world you want to download weather data for. So for this first example, we'll download weather data for the Pacific. So the easiest way to do that will be to pan and zoom the map so that the visible portion of what we see here is the area you're interested in. So yeah, let's do Pacific down south of Hawaii. Well, you can see what's going on there. So how do we download weather data? If you go through the tutorial, you already know this answer, but if you tap on this top left icon, we open up the sidebar, and the weather files area is where you want to head by tapping the weather files row here. And now we have a new file button, so we'll tap new file and download new file. So now we have choices. We can choose all kinds of stuff. For this first video, we'll keep it simple by using a lot of the defaults. And I'll come back later on and I'll do more videos on more of the details and more of the variations. So by default, we'll use the GFS weather data model, which is a global model made by NOAA. And it comes with pressure, wind, and wind speed, and all kinds of other stuff, but we'll do the other things later on. At the moment, it's set up to ask for forecasts every 3 hours. For 7 days, we'll do 10 days. And the resolution is 0.25, which is the highest resolution available in this model, so that's fine. And yeah, that's good enough for now. We'll just download this file. So in the top right-hand corner, there's a download button. Hit download. You now have the option of changing the file name, but for this first example, we'll just leave that the same. So we'll tap the Start Download button. Here it is. There you go, your first weather file. Yay! So you tap and slide around in this bottom timeline here, which changes the time, the forecast time, and you're seeing a visual representation of the weather for these different times. There's also some text information in the top right-hand corner here, which shows you the wind, pressure, and wind gusts at the cursor. The cursor is the central crosshair in the middle of a screen, and as you move the map around, you'll see that the text will always indicate the weather data at that point, at the current forecast time. So you can move the cursor around to see more information, or you can change the forecast time to see the information at that point over time. And there's a bunch of other ways of doing this. We'll come to those in a future video. So yeah, that's the simplest way to get weather data will be to move the map around, zoom into an area, open up the sidebar area, and ask for a new request. There are times when you want the shape of the forecast data to be different than the visible portion of the screen. So you can do that. You can specify the region, the exact region you want weather data in. And I don't want to go into too much detail, but I'll do this quickly. If you tap on this central cursor area, the central crosshair, you bring a menu up. So I tapped in the central crosshair, and now we see this. So this lets you change, well, we'll come to that later in a different video. But if you now tap on the top icon, the gear-shaped icon, that lets you choose among different tools. And there's a tool which lets you choose the region. It just lets you specify the region for a weather data file. So it's the, as you would guess, I hope, it's the square-shaped icon here. So I'll tap on this square icon. And now we have a row of buttons on the bottom of the screen. And I'll go through quickly how to do this. So we're in the rectangle tool. And there's buttons on the bottom. So the left-hand button is the rectangle. If you tap that and move the window around, you see that there's a rectangle being formed. It's starting from where the cursor was initially and going to where you move the map to. And this button is still highlighted blue. So the way you let go, the way you have a system kind of, well, stop updating the rectangle as you move the cursor is to tap it again. So now you specified a region, but it may not be where you want. So generally you want to move the cursor down to one of the corners of the rectangle first and then start drawing a region. So if you want to do Caribbean and Florida, you could do that. Alternatively, you can make a rectangle and then move it. If you move the cursor into the area, there's a little move icon, which is the second from the left. And now you can move this rectangle around and have it let go again. Or you can move the cursor down to one of the corners and change the corner location or change the side location by putting to a side and so on. So yeah, that looks pretty good. Well, actually I'll go up a little bit, do a bit more of a northern Florida. Okay, that's good. So I want weather data for this area. So we're in the rectangle tool. There's a rectangle which is active. So again, we'll tap this top left-hand corner icon, which brings up the sidebar. Ask for a new file again. Download new file. Again, I'll use all the default parameters. No, I'll add rain. Let's add rain. So I just tapped on precipitation, and we'll do 10 days again. We'll ask for data every hour initially. And it's a quarter of a degree. That looks all good. So I'll tap download, use its default name again, and here comes the file. So I want to leave this rectangle tool, and there's a close button on the top left-hand corner here. So it's just above the, well, you see the close button. I'll just tap that. And now we have two files, one for the Pacific, one for the Caribbean and Florida. And again, as you move the screen around, the cursor moves and the text information showing you the weather data in the top right-hand corner there will update. And there's more ways to view the weather data, which we'll cover in a future video. You may also want to switch between files. So again, if you open up the sidebar, you can tap the different files and the system will quickly change to that weather data. So here I am switching between the Pacific and the Caribbean. You may also want to delete these files. So this app comes with a sample grip file. We don't need that anymore. So if I tap on this sample and slide to the left, you can share it with somebody else or you can delete it. We don't want the grip file, the sample, so we'll delete it. It's gone now. So I'll just tap in on these again. Yeah, I think that's, we'll do one more thing. We'll cover how to update the file. So I've just downloaded these. So let's pretend for a moment you've closed the app and you come back the next day. And now you want to update the forecast for the Caribbean. So if you open up the sidebar area, make sure there's a little icon to the left of these file names, which is like the update icon. If you tap this update icon, the system will try to update this file. And what it's telling you now is that there's no point in updating because the data you have is already the most recent. There is no new data available yet. So that saves you from downloading the same data over and over again. But if we had waited a day and hit that icon to update the file, then you would have gotten more data, fresh data. So I think with that, I'll leave this video. Yeah, I'll keep it kind of short. We'll do those more videos coming in the future. So yeah, welcome to LuckGrib. Thanks for watching. If you have some more ideas for videos in the future, leave me a comment. If you want to see more of these videos, hit the little like button. Yeah, thanks. Talk to you later. Bye.